Hi friends! This is DaintyTank. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to Fatal 12. This is episode 35. We're episodes now, not parts. I was thinking parts is much smaller of a series. That's the problem with these types of series, is that I don't know exactly how long it's going to take to get through it. This one is exceptionally long. However, there's some out there that I want to play, like Kindred Spirits on the Roof, that takes nearly 100 hours. So, really rough. Especially since, I have to voice everything, and it's not nicely voiced like the newer stuff, like Perfect Gold. Poke the toner in that card area to see Perfect Gold, because it's great. It's fantastic. It starts off and kicks down the door with the game, and then just keeps you hooked. Unlike this, which took us, we calculated it, 27 hours to get to the gay. So speaking of the gay, they actually did a really good job with the storytelling to kind of swing it back around and kind of finish out and let us know about those first couple people who we didn't know about. So I thought it was really cool that they were able to swing it back around. So we knew who these people were. I think one of you mentioned it. I don't remember off my head. Sorry, I do read your comments, and I was like, that's a great point, that we circled back around to know everybody. And at this point, it's just Miharu and Rinka. So, with that, let's click in. Boop. Load. Fates that did not intertwine. Whoa. Morning. I'm stricken with a sense of loss upon waking up. My alarm rings after I've spent some time staring at the ceiling. I've managed to wake up before it went off somehow. I checked my phone only to notice a message from Miharu. It's about the card she obtained last night. Ro, huh? I wonder if he's Chinese. He was that chubby old man, if I recall. I'm not sure what sort of life he led, but I can only assume he'd gone through his fair share. I send her numeral 6's name as thanks. Her name was Chan. She's probably in her mid-20s, judging from her appearance, although her desperate plea for someone to help her stood out the most. Her life must have been at its highest point for her to reach in such a way. Every single person had led their own lives. It sounds obvious, but I've come to appreciate that reality much more. I get a follow-up text from Miharu as I'm thinking. Final start today. You ready? Now that you've lost everybody. Are you ready? What is that noise? What? I spew an unintelligible sound in response. Looks like she has more to say. There's no need for us to rush since it's just us left. Let's get exams out of the way before we think about how to handle divine selection. Fair. Both Alan and Federico were eliminated during last night's election. Miharu's right. We can take our time to think things through once we've done our exams. Alan. Yeah. Curiosity gets the better of me, which leads me to do an online search for his name. His position meant that even Japanese news outlets would report on his death. It was labeled as a death under unknown circumstances at first, but now it's been chalked up to suicide. There's no way he'd commit suicide. Anyone who knew him would agree. His death occurred 2 months ago. It's too late to try and do anything about it. Not like anyone would believe me if I did. It's not like it affects my life in any way, but it still frustrates me. Alan expected things to play out this way, though. That means there's a more important issue to consider. Amrita! Per the oh yeah, I was about to say. User F.B. You always teach me all these things. Thank you so much. But it's apparently a different pronunciation and a bigger, deeper meaning. Amrita. Instead of where I was going, Amarita. It's Amrita. And it's almost like ambrosia type of name. Per the contents of his will, the position of CEO will be taken up by his late CEO's younger sister. Apparently, there were plenty of arguments over it, but she got appointed in the end. She even changed her name to Amrita Scorpion. Ooh, to carry on his legacy and is working hard with the support of others. Ah, good. Good news. I guess people aren't thrilled with this show of nepotism, judging by the comments on the articles themselves. Doesn't matter. I know she'll forge a path ahead without giving haters the time of day. There are photos of her in the articles too. You can tell she's still young, but she certainly is gorgeous. I'm not really sure how we're similar, but I can take pride in Ellen's claim that we are. Is she too an oblivious lesbian? 'Cause that's you, my dear. Okay. Time to move on with my own life. I decided to put reading the diary on hold until I'm done with finals. Much as I want to finish it, I'd rather not come across something important right now. I'd kill my ability to focus on studying. Don't they start today, though? Enjoy a nice big stretch and then get ready for school. There we go. Free at last. I love you, Mao. And was that Friday? Hold on. Whoa! Yeah, we're all the way through Friday. I think it's a lot quicker when you don't have to deal with people killing you. Well, an arduous 5 days of exams finally come to an end. Time spent at school was short due to each day being limited to 2 subjects, but that didn't make it any less grueling. I was about to say 10 subjects in total. Is that right? Do you have finals in PE? Miharu and Naomi made sure to drag me to the library every single day too. The risk of me not studying was just too great. Sure, I started late, but definitely didn't spend any less time studying than anyone else. In fact, I'm feeling pretty good about the results this time around. The price I pay in return was a dear one, however, leading me to sprawl out over my desk the moment I hand my last exam in. I'm exhausted. All I have left for today is homeroom, so now I've got to wait for the teacher to arrive. Since Mao approaching, she probably knows that I look like I'm dying. You sure look beat. I am. I haven't studied this hard since our entrance exams. That's an issue in and of itself. Thank you, Miharu. A monkey could have gotten better at grades than you before these finals. Savage. The first half of my first year went well enough, thanks to what I learned while studying for entrance exams, but it's been downhill ever since. Can't even offer Mao a witty comeback when even she's been outdoing me. Ugh. What do I even do with my time? It's not like I had the store to worry about or anything. You did go all out this time at least. Yeah, so please, let me rest. No can do, princess. Right, Mohiran? Indeed. Apparently the 4 of us are going to karaoke after school. Take it Naomi's coming as well? Yep. You're opening the store tomorrow, so we gotta go crazy today. We never did get to go after the culture festival, so now's the time to make up for it. The cultural festival. Oh. That's like opening a can of trauma right there. Just trauma. That's how trauma happens right there. A can opening. Anyways, hi. I am drinking and it's a hurricane, so we'll see. Oh, right. We couldn't go due to Naomi getting injured from the accident that happened back then. That's how the events were rewritten. And Mao had something planned for the week after as well, but nothing came from it in the end. This might be the best time to cut loose then. But I'm still exhausted. Get yourself a double shot, coffee, energy drink, monster, whatever. Let me rest. I made sure to keep it a secret so you could focus on studying. I'm on your side here, but we'll have to convince Mal first. That sounds more exhausting than just going. Yeah. Oh well. Talking Mao down when she's raring to party is too much of a hassle. Plus, I want to see you guys doing karaoke. It's been a while, so I guess I'll have fun. Oh no. I'll have fun. Do we get to see karaoke? Oh. Ugh, my throat's killing me. Same here. Where do you get all that energy, Mao? Going to bed nice and early did the trick. You made sure to study as well, though, right? I do not comment on rumors and speculation. We end up staying at the karaoke place until 7, which is when free time ends. Why? Is there like a free time clock? After grabbing some food, we make our way to the nearest station. Oh, free time for karaoke. They probably have scheduled events after that. Oh, got it. I haven't gone all out like this in a while. I'd be lying if I said that wasn't fun. Likewise. I whispered that to myself, but even so, Miharu chimes in, as if to say, she heard me. She always does. You never do. My oblivious lesbian you. Mao went wild, even when she wasn't singing. Naomi actually had a pretty good voice when she overcame her shyness. Meanwhile, Miharu outright refused to sing. That's very sad because she has quite the silky voice, according to me. My voice was completely forgettable, but for some reason, Miharu kept taking pictures and videos of me. Just facepalm. For some reason, unknown, she tried to be sneaky about it, but it was hard not to notice. Well, I mean, it's hard not to notice. You would have missed it somehow had you not had it beat over your head that she likes you, and you still haven't given her an answer. I have all of these feelings. At least I know the reason why. Finally. Miharu approaches and tugs ever so slightly on my left sleeve. Oh? Matt takes immediate notice and grabs Naomi by the arm. Oh? Hey, Niren, I think I left my phone back in that place. Weren't you using it just a second ago? You must be hallucinating. So hey, mind coming with me to just get it? Rini and Miharu, you two can head home first. There's no need to drag me. Despite her pleas, Mao drags Naomi back along the path we were just walking. Just Miharu and me at the station. No need to wonder why, either. Can we go somewhere else for now? Sure. How about Tokyo Tower? Just like our last night out together. Ooh. The park where we first met might have been more appropriate, but it's closed at this hour. Both of us figured that we should avoid Lion House too. That's why it feels right to go back to where she confessed. Aww. Oh, it's happening. It's happening. Do we get a say here? Please let me have a say. Because I am going to say all of the things. We don't say anything on our way there. We just stand side by side, taking in the sounds of the train carrying us to our destination. Gives me time to sort my thoughts out. Because you haven't thought about this until now. God, Rinka. I'm worried that I've made her wait far too long. 2 whole weeks and 4 days. That's how long I put it off. Her decision to not rush me for an answer also means she had to spend all that time worrying about it. Yeah. I have an obligation to answer her now. Maybe that's not the right way to put it. I just need to be honest with her about how I feel at this moment. That's why I've spent most of our journey thinking about my answer. Well, I've already settled on the answer itself. I just gotta figure out the right way to tell her. No? This is okay. Our silence continues until we reach our destination. Tokyo Tower really is lovely when it's all lit up. Feels like a different experience in summer compared to spring. I'm not quite sure how to kick the conversation off with Miharu. Hey Miharu, honeybee. Yes! So I just roll with the first thing that comes to mind. So, let me apologize for making you wait this long. It's fine. Mao told me it'd take you some time, plus there was divine selection and finals to worry about. I promise you'll get I promise you'll get an answer no matter what. Just, give me some time to think about it through. Please? I was prepared to wait, and when you fumbled your way through that answer after my Hold on. We gotta actually do this right. I promise you'll get an answer right away, no matter what. Just, give me some time to think about it. Think it through. Please? Yeah, that's you. I was prepared to wait when you fumbled your way through that answer upon my confession. Seems like she remembers exactly what I told her. Yeah? Hearing it repeated like that is embarrassing. I should have mentioned something as well, actually. It was all Mao's idea for us to be alone after our day out. I figured as much. But, well, it's true that I've wanted to hear your answer as well. Of course. Miharu tugging my sleeve was her way of saying this is something she sincerely wanted. And back at the theme park, she tugged your sleeve too? She must have been overwhelmed with emotions when she did so. Worry, hope, anxiety. Now I better understand all that she's been going through, compared to before. There's something else I need to tell you, but it might take a while. Are you okay with that? Yeah, go ahead. It's about the contents of my cause of death card. I want you to know about the events that led up to my choice to take my own life. It's unfair of me to expect an answer from you when I'm still keeping secrets, so I want you to make your decision after hearing about me at my worst. Oh, I love you so much! Oh, Miharu, you are so wonderful. Like, I know that you've had, like, your mystery secrets all the way through, but, like, the fact that you're like, hey, I want you to know who I am at my very worst before you make a decision, because I know that, you know, it's important. That's, I love you. Don't respond just to my confession, but answer whether or not you can accept someone as horrible as me. You aren't horrible, although you'll probably feel that you are. Sure. Although I should make one thing clear. I'll never think poorly of you, no matter what. I know, Rinka. I won't hate you, nor will I reject you. That just won't happen. Nope, no thoughts, just vibes. Miharu nods in response. I feel that this goes without saying between us nowadays. If Miharu is willing to open up, then she will. All I need to do is listen. Oh, hi. Let's see. I skipped a majority of the details when I told you about what happened between the time I entered Amicia and met you, so allow me to fill that gap. This will be entirely from the perpetrator's point of view. There's no taking back what the victims went through, and they can't be judged for their hatred. What? As you know, I'm not at all fond of my mother. This wasn't always the case, however. Miharu tells me about her mother's past. This must be crucial in understanding her frame of mind. Regardless, even the perpetrator has lived their own life before that point. I just happen to be born on the after side of things. She prefaces her story with this. It's not the first time I've heard about how her father took someone's life in an accident. She told me about it way back when at the park too. He may have been responsible, but that doesn't mean he felt nothing over it. I'm sure his wife felt the same pain he did. My mother stayed by my father's side, even after the fact. She went so far as to shoulder the burden with him, and worked hard to ensure that they could start a new life elsewhere. She pauses for a moment before continuing. Pause! Drink! This is really just backstory info dump at this point. At some point, though, her mindset changed, likely prompted by my father's suicide. She was already battling up plenty before that, so maybe it makes sense that losing him caused that battle to burst. While her despair may have been one factor, I'm certain the main reason was her belief that she had been betrayed. She had given her life to support him following what happened, and yet he threw his own away. He abandoned his responsibility to own up and live with the consequences of his actions. Meanwhile, my mother was separated from the sin she burdened with him. She was finally free, if you will. Miharu's mother began looking for a new partner. Eventually, she fell for a younger man at her workplace. Miharu made it a point to say that her mother was pretty beyond doubt. She looked young despite both her age and everything she's been through. Made sense for her to enter a relationship with someone younger. I met the man once myself. He was accepting of her being a single mother, and they got engaged before long. She was always so happy then. She would make my favorite meals for dinner. The way she chose her clothes whenever she went out resembled that of a girl going on her first date. We were hardly wealthy, but she always made sure I looked fashionable. I really did love her back then. I knew about our financial situation, though. That's why I studied hard to get scholarship at Amicha, knowing it would allow me to get an education without putting a strain on her. I figure she would have been married for a few years by the time I'd enter university, so we would be able to in a much better place financially. The Mishima family had a bright future ahead. Her mother never neglected her parental duties, not even while indulging in her newfound love. She was betrayed again, though. Apparently the man told her that they should break up despite him having given her an engagement ring. Whoa, that's a deep level. It must have been around August. He fell in love with one of the new hires at their job. Their relationship had been going on for over a year at this point. One could easily regain the feelings they'd lost. This was likely the final moment of my mother's life. Everything she did afterwards was never really her. That's what caused her to change, essentially. She stopped caring about everything, including me. My birthday, my tastes, everything. It all became meaningless. I'm not sure if neglect is the right word for this, but it's the first that comes to mind. Yeah, that's neglect. That's trauma. It's basically a type of child abuse that involves not giving them the proper care they need. Yeah, it's neglect. It's just more emotional neglect. And maybe some physical if they're not getting their needs met physically as well. She'd do anything but complain. If I tried to say anything to her, she'd do nothing but complain if I started to say anything to her. And she started drinking alone at home. She wasn't working full-time, and yet she would only ever do the bare minimum of chores. drastic changes have the power to sway people's hearts. Our relationship before all that made it all the more difficult for me. It was around then that I started slitting my wrists. It's also when I did it on a regular basis. I just wanted her to care about me again. I don't mind if she didn't buy me stuff I liked, or if she didn't do any of the chores. At the very least, I wanted her to acknowledge my birthday. Oh, this all hurts. Also, don't do this. You have resources, there's people out there. Slitting your wrist, all of that is really harmful for you. Focus on you. Get help down below. There's always a link to the Trevor Project for more intense episodes. At the same time, I found it odd that her anger was directed not toward the man, but toward the woman who took him from her. No, I always blame the man. The man's the fault. Sorry guys. But she may have seduced him for all I know, but it was still his decision to betray her in the end. I couldn't understand why she was angry at him, why she wasn't angry at them, when they seemed like a natural reaction. In terms of victim and perpetrator, I thought the man was definitely the latter, with my mother the former. Same time, I may have held some resentment toward my mother for the vulgarities she uttered about the woman in front of her own daughter. She could do little else but bottle up the stress caused by both her mother's neglect and the resentment she felt. Ever since the winter of my first year in middle school, I spent my time thinking of ways to hurt myself more to grab her attention. While my meeting with you when we were kids helped support me, 6 months passed with me in a destructive state of mind. It was in the second year that I met Mao, and that was a turning point in my life. Apparently Mao was keeping her distance from her classmates as well, albeit for different reasons. Do we get to ever have like a side story on Mao? I'd be interested. She hated the groupthink amongst the girls in her class. Stuff like their decision to ignore people if they didn't join in on bullying others. Ugh. Nowadays, that's not an issue, since she can brush off anything she doesn't support. That wasn't the case back then. That's why she kept her distance instead. It was so she wouldn't get forced into doing anything she didn't want to. Mao was never any good at judging the right way to interact with others at the time. Well, I was even worse. Mao showed no effort to avoid Miharu after learning about her self-harm habits, nor did she get angry or try to lecture her about it. She didn't even try to understand the reasoning behind it. According to Miharu, that was exactly what she needed. Someone to just be there and acknowledge her. That's fair. Mao's the one who told me that I didn't need to love her just because she wasn't my mother. It was okay for me to hate her. It is very true. You do not owe your parents the absolute love and unconditional. That's not something that's right. You are allowed to not like people. And sometimes the very closest people, your own parents, cannot be who you need them to be for you in your life. And that's okay. That sure sounds like Mao. Miharu nods quickly. I finally came to hate her thanks to that little push. Accepted that she wasn't worthy of my respect at that moment, despite our past relationship. Yes! Boom! Good! It's fine whether you love or hate someone. It's fine to switch from one to the other, too. In the end, it's all a personal choice you make yourself. I could see Mao saying something like that. Even then, there were still times when I broke down and slit my wrists. The frequency at which she did so dropped dramatically, however. Knowing she wasn't alone gave her peace of mind. I'm sure I can give a general summary of what happened once I entered high school and fell in love with you. Yeah? She briefly explains that her self-harm actions had stopped around that time. The scars from before would never go away, though. That's why she started to wear clothes with long sleeves, even in the heat of the summer. And then, when our second year started, Naomi appeared. That was another turning point for her. I'd started to spend a lot more time with Naomi after we met. Now that I think about it, it's impressive how close we got in such a short time. A month in, I already wanted to go to a theme park with her. It was completely normal from most people's perspective, I guess. Just another facet of one's daily life. Miharu couldn't see it that way, though. I was always the one by your side up till then. Mel would always act as the third wheel because she knew how I felt about you. But the same couldn't be said for Naomi, you know? To be frank, the more time you spent with her, the less time you spent with me. Miharu made it as clear as day. I don't blame myself because I don't really agree with the idea of having to spend a whole equal amount of time with her. With everyone. Ugh. Nor can I blame Miharu from her perspective either. Not when I understand where she's coming from now. One day, Parsa appeared in my dreams to tell me what fate held in store. Naomi would steal you away from me. Parsa did? Why would she? I had an odd dream that night. I'm still not sure if it was one Parsa showed me or one that manifested from my own anxiety. It was a dream where you and Naomi were in a relationship. Me and Naomi? Oh, that blush. My mind goes blank for a moment. I didn't even consider this opportunity. Facepalm. Facepalm, facepalm, facepalm. First she mentions Parsa, then a dream, or Naomi and I are in a relationship. I don't know where that possibility came from, but it's certainly not one based in reality. Is it? You are the most oblivious lesbian. Oh my god. You are the dumbest timeline. I'd rather not interrupt Miharu, so I make sure to withhold my commentary for now. Yeah, she's just trying to get you to confess if you like her or not, and telling you everything about herself. I had this dream on the night of May 2nd, the juncture of causality. The day all 12 of us died. Let me make one thing clear. That dream wasn't what led me to commit suicide. I'm confident I could get over it so long as you were happy. She makes sure to tell me that she'll be fine no matter how I respond to her confession. Good! Oh my god, good on her! I love you, Miharu. Because, yeah, pressuring someone with I'm a commit and unalive is not ever okay. So, I am really respectful of Miharu making sure that she knows that she's gonna be okay no matter what she hears. She won't resort to suicide even if I say no. That's how she felt following the dream too. The issue was with the emotions that her dream gave birth to. I found myself outraged at Naomi. I hated her for it. Most of all, I envied her. That's when I understood, though, why my mother's anger was directed at the woman instead of the man that abandoned her. Her blood flows through my veins, making it possible for me to turn out exactly like her in the future. Oh no, you are not your own mother. That is not how that works. Oh, you recognize immediately and you're not gonna sit there and destroy every part of your relationship and your life. I mean, I guess you kinda did. Moving on. But you... Focusing here. There's no reason for you to ever believe that you will be your parents. That's not something you should ever put on yourself. Ever. Because you are not them. You are fundamentally a different person. The realization that I had been denying my lineage through my hatred made me want to die. That was different from when she was slitting her wrists. She didn't want anyone to notice her in this situation. I just didn't want to be alive anymore. That was an emotion I simply can't understand. We're fundamentally different people after all. Yeah. Your biggest regret is that you didn't get to live a life. And it's not limited to just Miharu and myself. Not being able to understand parts of another is what makes us all unique. Beautifully so. How do you feel now? Divine selection helped in a way. The fact that I was able to kill myself proves that I understood exactly what part of me I hated. Her hate was so strong, they even applied to herself. She was able to denounce that side of her and find the will to bring her own life to an end. Those actions gave her some form of hope, I guess. Committing unaliving proved that I still have a will and self-control. That, in turn, allowed me to forgive myself. That's why she was determined to survive divine selection until I appeared in the court of fate. She made sure to stress that. So, that's a lot. That is so much backstory. I love you. That's so much backstory. Alright, that's the tale of Hibinata Miharu up until her demise. I'd like to hear your answer after taking that into consideration. She turns and faces me once again, telling me all that may have required even more courage than her confession. She didn't sugarcoat the horrible things she thought about Naomi. She knows how much I love everyone in our group too. That's why she probably didn't want to accept her feelings toward Naomi. Doing so would lead her to not be able to spend time with me. Besides, she didn't actually despise Naomi. Her envy stemmed from the fact that I had been spending more time with her. I get why she didn't want me to make that decision until I heard this. It just proves how much she loves me. She's serious about this. Yeah. Let me confirm one thing with you. And because she's so serious, I need to be serious and ask this too. You said that only one person can become Parsa's vessel. Thus, only one can survive. I still disagree. If there's even the slightest chance that both of us can survive, that's what I want to bet on. Linda's diary and an outcome where we are unable to elect one another are both parts of my belief. I want to fight back as much as possible. How do you feel about that? She casts her eyes to the ground to show that she's thinking. It's not out of hesitation. She wants to be confident in her response. I don't want an answer based on logic. I want one based on feelings. She probably understands that. My priority is your survival. As for my own, I'm still not too sure. I appreciate your honesty. She responds in kind to my trust in her. She should know the answer I am hoping for. I've changed my mind. Let's look for a way to survive together. That isn't the answer she gives. It kind of makes me want to shout at her, much like I did when she first said that at the beginning of divine selection. Her resolution is the same now as it was back then. It's somewhat relieving, though. She's still the same person I've always known. Well, here I go then. My nerves get the better of me once it's time to answer. I can feel my heart ready to explode. Miharu's face may even be more flushed than mine. Even I'm beginning to wonder how I remained so calm until now. It's only natural to be nervous. This is no doubt something that'll change both of our lives. And this is where I'm going to stop it. I know you're going to hate me. I knew you were going to hate me. I'm going to pause it here. Come back. See what's going on. I am very sure that this is probably very close to the end. So come back next time. Let me know your thoughts down below, or yell at me going, Dainty! Any URL's fine. I get it. I'm putting this cliffhanger here. And I have no regrets. Alright. With that, I'm going to leave it here. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hit that like button. And I love you all. See you next time. Bye!